breaking news. Ethan Crumbley's parents are going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Pascal.
This is breaking right now as we speak. Breaking. Breaker. Let me get this up here really quick. According to this article, and this is revolving around the Oxford school shooting, parents have been charged with involuntary manslaughter. It is official. The parents of the 15-year-old accused of murdering 4 classmates at Oxford High School failed to secure the gun he used and should also face prison time for their son's deadly shooting spree in Oakland County. The Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald said Friday. Today, just a few minutes ago, this is hot and fresh out the kitchen, y'all. All right. McDonald announced involuntary manslaughter charges against James and Jennifer Crumbley. Their son, Ethan Crumbley, already faces a slew of the T word, murder, assault charges that, if convicted, could put him in prison for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole. McDonald charged the teen as an adult, given the severity of his crime. Obviously. Right? Authorities say James Crumbley purchased a 9mm Sig Sauer SP 2022 pistol last Friday, 4 days before the school shooting. Ethan Crumbley had subsequently posted pictures of the gun and a target on social media before the attack. We already saw all that stuff. Now, McDonald had hinted at charges against Crumbley's parents earlier in the week, telling this particular radio station, I guess, that their gun seems to have been just freely available to their son. The parents' actions go far beyond negligence, she said. Ethan Crumbley has also pleaded not guilty to the accused crimes, but prosecutors say that there is a mountain of evidence against him. There's a typo in here, including a video he allegedly recorded the night before the attack. Wow. Including a video he allegedly recorded the night before the attack. A journal entry describing his plans to, quote unquote, shoot up the school, and surveillance footage from inside. Interesting. One thing that I think that they wanted that we showed earlier in the show, that Karen McDonald said that there's some disturbing new evidence. I'm thinking it's the actual video that he recorded the night before the attack that we have not seen yet. No one has seen this yet. So there is a video somewhere in the possession of the law enforcement right now where he has literally pre-recorded something, maybe his own verbal manifesto, including a journal entry the night before the shooting. Boom. Now, we already know a bunch of other things where he has exhibited some concerning behavior in the classroom earlier in the week, according to authorities who said they were not aware of that until the crime. Now, this is what they say the authorities are saying, but the school had already known. Those concerns prompted school personnel to meet with Crumbley the day before the shooting, and then to call his parents in for a second meeting just hours before the Tuesday attack. And of course, we already know all this stuff. No punishment, no discipline was warranted. Nothing happened. He went into the bathroom, came out, and he shot people. So crazy that this is the information right now. But this is breaking. As you see right here, parents have been charged with involuntary manslaughter. And the other piece of information here is this. They have a mountain of evidence. I'm going to highlight this really quick. A mountain of evidence against him, including a video he allegedly recorded before the attack, a journal entry describing his plans to do some things in the school, and of course, there's surveillance footage from the inside that I'm sure will get leaked at some point. But one thing I want to see more than anything in the world, I would love to see that video entry, that video that he made the night before the attack. In fact, I would love to see the journal entry as well. Breon, what are your thoughts on this? Now that we hear this more developing information here.
Well, I think that this is warranted. Um, the one thing I'm curious about is when he shot the others in the bathroom, did anyone not hear the gunshots? Because that's something that hasn't been discussed at all. Because then he came out into the hallway and then didn't he start shooting or something like that? So that was just interesting that no one heard the loud bangs from the gun. I was just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, I want to know more as well, like the more of the description of when did they know that this whole thing went off, right? When did they
Mhm,
know what did the children hear? What did the kids hear? What did the staff hear, right?
mhm,
Who was the first one to hear the first gunshot go off?
mhm,
Um, where were they when they heard the first gunshot go off? How, especially the victims as well. Were there any other people next to those victims? Were they spared? Did he have a list?
mhm,
I hate to say that, but did he have a hit list of people that he wanted to take down and other
mhm.
people were spared? We I don't know. We don't know. But like I said, I'm going to show that highlighted spot again. It all depends on what this mountain of evidence they have against him is. What this video that was previously recorded is saying in that video, what he's saying in that video. Also, what's that journal entry? You see what I'm saying? But like I said before, parents would have known if they were looking through his ish, if they were looking through his belongings, if they were looking at his journal entry, if they even knew he had a journal, right? Now, I saw in the chat somebody saying that the video that he made was on his cell phone. He made a cell phone video. Um, I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be very convenient. Obviously, his cell phone can record video, right? So we don't know, but it's crazy that there were so many signs leading up to this horrible event, this tragedy, clearly, and no one did anything.
Right.
Like it says right here too. No discipline was warranted at the time. That's what the superintendent said in a video statement. Yeah, you know what I mean. He says yes. The student did have contact with our front office, and yes, his parents were on campus on the 30th of November. Uh, this is as much information we can give you to you today. And that's literally all they say. Like, so no discipline was warranted, but whatever he was doing was unsavory.
But that that's interesting because schools just don't call parents up to the office if
Mhm.
the behavior doesn't warrant a discipline. Um, it had to have been disruptive enough or bad enough for them to call the parents, or it must have been ongoing behavior like talking in class but continuing to do it, or forgetting homework and never turning it in. Like those things make sense, but that's what I'm saying. It's either a pattern or his behavior had been warranted enough to call but then not to discipline. And I know that one thing that we often talk about is how schools or how society reacts, had individuals been African American, um, or other Black students, they would have. immediately had an IEP, probably would have had several in school suspensions. They often don't give parents the opportunity to come up to the schools to make it right. Often, Black parents have to demand. So it's just really interesting that, or we're going to call the parents in, but it doesn't warrant anything. Well, then why call the parents? Like something just doesn't seem right, at least in my mind, because other parents have been called, or other children have been disciplined for potentially far less. So I'm just kind of curious, what particularly it was. If it had to have been related to true behavior, or had it been related to um, grades or not turning in assignments. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of curious. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've seen students, parents being called for far less. I've experienced it myself when I was in school, not
Mm-hmm.
even doing anything, parents getting called, or getting in trouble. So why call the parents if it doesn't warrant anything?
But now we know, breaking news, Ethan Crumbley's parents are going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter. That is officially happening right now. They just broke that. We just broke that news. That is breaking news right here on the Pascal Show.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.